I used to feel invisible in meetings, like everyone else was 2 steps ahead of me while I struggled to find the right words or make an impact. For months, I thought I just wasn't smart enough or confident enough to stand out in a room full of sharp, experienced people. But the truth is, it wasn't about being the loudest or smartest. It was about seeing the conversation through a different lens and knowing how to speak in a way that makes people listen and trust you instantly. If you want to outsmart everyone in the room without stressing yourself out or pretending to be someone else, stick with me because what I'm about to share completely changed the way I interact, learn, and influence any group I'm in. 1. Master the art of active curiosity. I used to think that showing too many questions made me look ignorant or unsure. When I was younger, the pressure to know all the answers made me hide my curiosity and afraid to ask clarifying questions during conversations. Everything changed when I realized that genuine curiosity actually makes you stand out as intelligent and engaged rather than clueless. The moment that changed everything was when I started asking open-ended questions that forced people to explain their reasoning instead of just agreeing silently. The crazy part is that asking, "Why do you think that?" or "Can you help me understand that better?" not only makes you smarter in real time, but also pulls the speaker closer to you. It's like shining a spotlight on their thinking process. And when people feel heard and understood, they naturally want to include you more. Try this now. In your next conversation, ask at least 2 genuine questions that dive deeper into their ideas instead of just nodding along. 2. Listen for what's not being said. For the longest time, I was all about preparing my next point while others spoke, which means I missed a lot of the subtle things people didn't say out loud. That closed mindset made me seem disconnected even though I was physically present. But once I understood the power of paying attention to body language, tone, and pauses, it felt like decoding a secret language everyone takes for granted. Here's the thing: a quiet nod, a quick glance away, or hesitation can tell you more about someone's true feelings or hidden objections than their words do. I remember a meeting where someone agreed to a plan, but kept folding their arms and avoiding eye contact. The red flags turned out to be right. When you start noticing these nonverbal clues, you're not just reacting to the surface, you're understanding the undercurrents. Try this for 1 week. Focus on people's body language in small social settings or meetings without interrupting. Jot down what you notice afterward and see how it matches or contradicts what they say. 3. Use we language instead of I language. I'll admit I was a textbook me speaker for years, always pushing my ideas and defending my point until someone heard me. But the result was isolation and defensiveness, where people felt like I was opposing them, even when I wasn't. When I switched to inclusive language like, "We might consider," or "How can we solve this together?" things shifted dramatically. The moment I started framing my points as part of a group effort, I went from sounding combative to collaborative. More importantly, people opened up and started inviting my input instead of shutting it down. It's like changing from a solo player to a team captain on the spot. Try this now. In your next group setting, frame at least half of your remarks using we, us, or our to foster connection and shared goals. 4. Embrace strategic silence early on. I filled every pause in conversation like I was afraid silence meant failure or rejection. But everything changed when I realized that confident silence actually makes your ideas stand out more and gives others room to reflect or fill in gaps you hadn't even thought of. I fought the urge to over-explain or interrupt for months, but once I leaned into silence, people started leaning on me more as someone who thinks deeply and doesn't rush to speak just for the sake of it. It's like planting a seed and letting it grow instead of yelling it out and hoping it sticks. Try this now. After you make a key point, pause for at least 5 seconds and resist the urge to jump in again. Notice how people respond and whether they start expanding on your idea. 5. Frame disagreements with empathy and questions. I used to get defensive whenever someone challenged me, and honestly, I lost many chances to learn or change perspectives because I felt attacked. The breakthrough came when I started responding to disagreements not with arguments but with empathy and open questions like, "That's an interesting point. Can you tell me more about what makes you see it that way?" This took the tension out of conversations and turned them into problem-solving sessions instead of battles. The result was not only better ideas, but a reputation as someone who stays calm and curious no matter what. Try this now. Next time you face a disagreement, Pause and ask a genuine clarification question instead of defending yourself immediately. Notice how it shifts the entire dynamic. 6. Simplify your thoughts with analogies. I used to get lost in jargon and complicated explanations, assuming that would make me sound smarter. The truth, it just made people's eyes glaze over. That changed when I found my own way to explain ideas using everyday analogies, comparing complex topics to familiar things like sports, cooking, or movies. This skill instantly made what I said clearer and more memorable, and I noticed people seeking my insights more often. It's like turning technical code into a language we all understand. Try this now. Pick one complicated concept you'll talk about this week and come up with a simple analogy for it. Share it and watch the difference in response. 7. Prepare your mental why behind every opinion. I used to throw out opinions without much thought, hoping they sounded convincing. The moment I started asking myself, why do I believe this, before speaking, I began uncovering stronger reasons and evidence that made my viewpoint really shine. The crazy part is that having a clear why not only boosts your confidence, but also invites others to engage because it's easier to follow. Try this now, before your next meeting or conversation. Write down the why behind 2 or 3 points you want to make. Reflect on those reasons when you speak. 8. Practice summarizing what others say. Early on, I didn't realize how powerful it is to repeat back, in your own words, what someone just said. It shows you're listening and gives them a moment to correct or confirm. Once I started doing this regularly, conversations became deeper and more productive because misunderstandings dropped dramatically and trust built quickly. It's like holding up a mirror for clearer communication. Try this now. During your next conversation, practice summarizing what the other person said before adding your thoughts. 9. Develop a habit of quick mental fact-checking. I used to take every statement as true or got overwhelmed trying to remember data. The game changer was learning to pause quickly and ask, is that really accurate? Or what's my experience on this? This made me sound more reliable and prevented me from spreading misinformation or getting caught off guard. Scientific studies show that critical thinking like this speeds up decision-making and improves credibility in social settings. Try this now. Challenge one new fact or claim you hear each day, and do a quick mental check on its validity. 10. Dress like you're already the person you want to be. I know it seems superficial at first, but there's real science behind how our appearance affects how others perceive and how we perceive ourselves. When I started dressing thoughtfully, not for anyone else but myself, my attitude shifted instantly. Along with others' respect, it's like wearing a suit of confidence that doesn't come from arrogance, but from self-respect. Try this now. Pick one outfit this week that makes you feel confident and own it. To sum it up, outsmarting everyone in the room isn't about being the loudest or the flashiest. It's about being genuinely curious, listening beyond words, collaborating with we language, using strategic silence, handling disagreements with empathy, simplifying your thoughts, knowing your why, summarizing conversations, fact-checking quickly, and carrying yourself with confidence. Choose what resonates most and start with one habit today. You don't have to master everything all at once. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these strategies feels the most doable for you right now? Comment below and let's talk about how you'll start outsmarting everyone in the room. And if this video helped you see conversations differently, make sure to like and subscribe because there's so much more ahead that will boost your confidence and communication every single day.